Hi everyone, and today another slightly looser episode. We will talk about books that every trader or investor should read. At the outset, I would like to point out that these are only my subjective types, and if you know a good reading that I have not mentioned here, write in the comments under the film and add a few words about it. Why do you consider it a good choice? I will also mention that the order of the individual titles does not matter. I do not think that one book is better than the other, so each has a valuable lesson, and I would not be tempted to prioritize any of them. Some of books I have with me here, some of them are around the house, and many of them I have electronic versions on my Kindle. So I would like to start with the books on technical analysis that describes schemes, strategies. So let's start with the first one, which is a Trader Vic, Wall Street Master Methods by Victor Sperandeo, who is an American trader, index developer, and financial commentator based in Grapevine, Texas, United States, of course. From the book, we will learn a lot of details about the methods that the author used both when investing in stocks, as well as stock indices and raw materials. Both analytical tools and their original modifications are described. There are also errors, very precisely described, with a given level of losses and an analysis of causes that led to it. You can see that the author is an investor who is constantly working on himself and admits that he likes it a lot. He also argues that when work is fun and passion, everything comes much easier. In this case, he did not discover America, of course, but he also points out that no one knows everything that affects prices. He cites soy as an example, or more precisely, you should buy or sell it when the tide is low off the coast of Peru. But what does the coast of Peru have to do with the soybean market, you ask? So this is one of the things you will learn from the book, which especially in the first part is saturated with charts. As the author rightly points out, we often try to justify ourselves. So remember that a good trader should not do it, but focus on numbers because numbers don't lie. Then the Japanese Candlesticks books by Steve Nissen, one of the first to be awarded the Chartered Market Technician, the CMT title, is a recognized author and speaker. He describes himself as a pioneer who introduced candlestick charts to the Western world. In his books, he exhaustively describes how we should read and use Japanese candles in practice. It is a kind of a handbook and the basis of technical analysis. As for the candles and candle formations themselves, a great supplement is a book by a trader probably with the Polish roots, Thomas Bulkowski, entitled Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns. I think this is actually one of the first books I have read on trading that showed me how to look at a chart, how to analyze it and describe it. In the book, the author discusses the formations themselves and gives comprehensive statistics for each. Among other things, what markets they are in, what is their effectiveness, etc. So these two books are a great base when we start working with the charts. I even dare to say that they should be read among the first ones when you start trading on the financial markets. Moving on, we go to one of the most popular books, The Market Wizards from Jack Schwager. So Mr. Schwager is a recognized industry expert in futures and hedge fund manager, and the author of many acclaimed financial books. He is also one of the founders of FundSeeder, the website fundseeder.com, a platform dedicated to finding undiscovered trading talents around the world and connecting unknown successful traders with sources of venture capital. So, who knows, maybe you're the one who is looking for. So the book Market Wizards itself is a collection of interviews with the traders who turned meager sums into great fortunes. Many insights can be drawn from these interviews. Among other things, capital preservation is the most important aspect of building wealth, largely in line with Warren Buffett's famous two investment principles. Rule number 1, don't waste your money, and rule number 2, never forget the rule number 1. And the fact that pride causes most traders to lose huge sums of capital because they believe they are right. which causes them to stick to losing positions that ultimately nullified their accounts. It can be concluded from the book that the trend following strategy has made most of these traders rich. Traders follow the uptrend by going long or with a downtrend by opening short positions. As soon as the trend changes, they close, of course, the position. It sounds simply right and logical, but everyone knows that theory is one thing and practice is most often something completely opposite. But let's go back to the book. If you like stories of how metaphorical pennies turn into millions, the market wizards will be like honey to your greedy heart. You learn how Michael Marcus made a 2.5 thousand-fold return in just 10 years, how Bruce Kovner set out to create 87% of annual cumulative return over a decade, how Paul Tudor Jones achieved 3-digit returns 5 years in a row, and a lot more. Among all these amazing stories about riches, there are many valuable lessons. Most of the wizards Jack Schwager spoke with emphasized capital preservation, namely they focus primarily on not losing money, largely in line with the famous 2 principles of Warren Buffett's investment mentioned earlier. So the last, let's call it a recommendation, is The Psychology of Effective Trading by Steve Ward, which can be said to be timeless. The author describes practical techniques to help you achieve better results. This is the result of many years of cooperation with the traders from the largest institutions in the world. His methods are also based on psychological research in the field of sport, among others, which is also interesting because he draws knowledge from various sources. As a result, the book is designed to help you shape the mentality of an effective trader. Of course, the mere knowledge of books is not enough, you still need to be able to apply everything in practice. But it is certainly a big help during the development of a trader or an investor. So there are many very good books worth recommending that deserve our attention. So maybe at the end I will give you a few titles and say in one sentence what can you get from each of them. They are also really worth reaching for, and I will mention that not all of them most likely are translated into your native language, so you will probably have to read everything in English like I did. Okay, so number 1 is Beat the Dealer by Edward Thorp. Mr. Thorp is an American mathematics professor, hedge fund manager and blackjack researcher, and this book will give you a great lesson about statistics in games like blackjack, for example. It has a reference to the markets because all of this is a game of probabilities. It is a tiny book of 200 pages, and it also has all of the stats, as you can see, drawn in the book. So if we talk about Mr. Thorp, also read his other book, A Man for All Markets, From Las Vegas to Wall Street, How I Beat the Dealer and the Market. So I guess the title is self-explanatory and I don't need to add anything to the book, just read it. Yeah, next will be Dynamic Trading by Robert C. Miner, who is a trader and a guru who teaches his methods, which are expanded on Elliott and Gann methodology. These 2 legendary traders. This one is most expensive. It costs around $1,000 or more depending on the shop. I checked used exemplars and you can find them for a couple of hundreds. I personally just borrowed it from a friend some time ago. So yeah, that is how I get to read this book. So another one is Trading Chaos by popular Bill Williams. I think I don't need to introduce who the author is, but if you don't know, I can give you a hint. You can open any of the trading platforms, click on the indicators tab and type Williams and check how many indicators will pop up. So the Trading Chaos is that interesting since it also applies studies from physics and psychology into the market conditions, meaning how you can use them to your advantage. And last but not least, The Intelligent Investor from Benjamin Graham, which was the teacher of Warren Buffett. It is a very important book. It will not only showcase you how you should approach trading, but also any investment, any business idea, how to manage your money, and so on. It's a very important, it's we can say one of the most important books you will read in life. So that's all for this video. Remember, if you want to watch more of these videos, just follow the channel, and remember to also check other social media like Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.